you know. All right, and you'll find this up on the YouTubes within the week so that you guys can execute some of these plans. There is a holiday coming up this weekend that we're going to talk about. And so you can set this up, and I'll show you how to get it done this week beforehand so you don't have to worry about it over the weekend. All right, so let's get started. As always, if there are any questions, I'll try to be monitoring the chat while while I'm teaching. Otherwise, feel free to unmute and just ask a question. I don't mind being interrupted at all. Are you guys seeing my screen okay? Should be looking at my SmartPlans screen.
Yes.
Yes, Stephen.
Awesome, thank y'all. All right, so first, when we talk about sending out a smart plan, there's always a few steps kind of involved beforehand. We're going to be doing some email smart plans today that are real simple, but we do, of course, need people's email addresses to send them this. But we're going to pick a design. We're going to look at a couple other designs in the system. We're going to create an email to put into the smart plan, and then we're going to build the smart plan out so that we can easily just send it out for one holiday, or if we want to be ambitious, we can build one that sends for all the holidays in one for a month, or as many as you really want up to 3 months out on the smart plan. Just depends on how much content you want to build. But we're only going to focus on November today. And so the first place we're going to start, like I said, is right in designs. They've done some updates in the design system over the last few months that make it really easy to do these kind of holiday emails where they put a lot of content inside there for the visual media support that we have. And so we're going to come up and hit create design up here. And we're looking for just a square design. We're going to be putting this design in an email, and emails most people are checking on their phones. And so we want to use a square design that shows up really nicely on phones. And that's going to be in the social section. Any square template, social is where we want to go. So we're going to hit continue after we click on social. It sends us into the KW template system, which always takes its time. But over on the left side, you can see all the different folders that we have of the different templates for our businesses. And what we're looking for today is holidays. And over on the left side, we're going to click on holidays, and it's all separated by month. And we're looking for November holidays. And at the top, I have a couple of filters, and I said I wanted to look for the square ones. So we're going to just click on social square. It'll bring up all my square holiday images. And so we're going to be working on a couple today. I've already made a few already. And all I did was remove the KW basic branding from there. For you as an agent, you want to add your own branding into one of these. And so let's say we want to use, let's just start with the daylight savings time one, since this is happening this weekend. And so let's take a look at this one by clicking on use in the corner of the template. When we do that, it'll load us into the photo editor where we can make all kinds of changes. But the key here is to keep it simple. Don't get too fancy with this, trying to change things around. Pretty much all I would recommend you changing is maybe the background color and adding your logo. Change the background color, we just click on the background and we see the color option up at the top. Maybe I want to use something that's more in my normal branding scheme, and then you want to replace the logo in the bottom corner with your own. The email that we're going to be sending already has our DBA information, our compliance logo in there. And so I don't mind taking it out of my image if I know it's going to be in an email that contains that image anyway. And so we're going to just remove that branding, and I'm going to delete it and put in actually one of my elements, which you can always just use your own logo there. And I'm just going to put in the little Delicio emblem there. It's a little bit big, but all I'm going to do is just make that small, tuck it into the corner, just add a little branding there into the email. This is an optional step, but it makes it really nice and consistent if you're putting this on all of your emails, all of your social media content. Adding a little logo can start establishing your brand. And all I'm going to do from here is just download this as a JPEG. I want to keep it pretty small for the email so it loads quickly on people's phones. And so I'm just going to leave it at the 92 percent image quality. I'm only downloading this page, and I click download. Always be patient here. You can see it prepares the image at the top of the screen first. And if I click done or home before this is done, it's not going to actually download that file. So now you see it downloaded into my browser, so I have it available. And I can go back home. And if I click on home, this brings us back to the templates menu. So if you're working on this and you want to go back right into the same menu so you can grab another holiday design and edit that, add your branding, you can. The steps are the exact same as what I just went through. Would you guys like to see me do it again, or are you guys good with that one? I'll leave that up to you.
Good.
We're good.
Awesome. Thank you, Kendra. Thank you. So we're going to be building a Thanksgiving email today. We're going to build a Veterans Day email, and I use these two designs to do so. They're already hanging out down here in my computer. And so I just went through and did the same thing. I removed some branding. You can add your branding. I didn't change the background color on these because I like the background color on them. So I just left them the way they are. And so as for designs, that's all we really need to do. We need to just get our branding set. We don't need to make it really fancy. We have beautifully designed templates already in here and lots of options if you want to use something different. But our next step is to go over, and now we need to build the emails for our smart plan, what's actually going to be sent out to our clients. And inside of Command, we have all these really wonderful templates for emails as well, but we have to get to them in a slightly different way, but we start in the same place. So we're in Designs, and we want to come up to Create Design to create our email for our smart plan. And here, instead of clicking on Social, we'll click on Email and continue. Keller Williams has given us over 70 templates in here. It's worth your time to come and explore some of these because some of them are already written for you. There's a tax day email, sell ready, refinancing, 72 total templates in here that you can look through. Today, we're going to just be building some out with the Modern Newsletter A. Modern Newsletter A is the simplest one. Same with Classic and the Approachable Newsletter A. They're all the same setup, just slightly different looks to them. You'll find whichever one you like. I like the modern one, so we're going to look at Modern Newsletter A, which is really simple. It doesn't have much to it, but it just adds all our branding and our photos and our logos and all that for us. We've already put it into our marketing profile. So I like using these for simple little emails that are just kind of a happy this day. And so we're going to use the Modern Newsletter A, because that's the real simple one, and then click Next. As the template loads up, it'll put in a few basic pieces of info, and let's just use the eyeball at the top to preview the template before we make any changes, so you guys can see what it looks like. So it loads our DBA logo in there for us, headline copy, we have some text to replace, a link, more text, and then gives us all our branding down here at the bottom really nicely. And so like I said, it keeps us compliant with all the important stuff down here already built in, and all we're going to edit is the text and the headline. So let's close our preview and start editing. And so this one, we're going to start with our daylight savings time message out to our folks. And so I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to delete out the text in there and put forgot my apostrophe. Forget 1, 2, 3, and an ellipses. And then it drops that in there for me. I'm going to click on the text below. Well, let's add our picture in next. I want to take a picture. There's no picture in my template, but that's okay. We can edit these and add things in. So I'm going to come over here and find the image option in my content menu to the right. I need to click and hold on my image option here, and you'll see a green bar start showing up on the screen. And that green bar tells you where that image block is going to be placed. And we want to make sure it's inside this orange box that shows up around the text to keep everything in line so the picture lines up with the text nicely. So I just let it go right there. And to get the image in, that's a new one, we want to come over to the third tab at the top, Add Images. And if you're following along with me and I'm going too fast, just let me know. I can slow down. I can redo something really easily. Not a big deal. And remember, this is being recorded, so it'll be out later this week if you guys want to watch it again. So I'm just going to grab my daylight savings time one that I just built and drop it in right here. You can see it adds it in down at the bottom. You can, of course, just click on that option and browse your device for the file if you don't have it just easily draggable like I did. I'm going to click on the picture and then hit save. Now that's pretty big. That's in fact too big for me. I don't like it that big. So I'm going to click the little pencil in the corner. When I select the photo, I can choose the pencil, which always means edit. And it's set to 750 by 750, and we're going to change that to 350 by 350. Keep them the same so it keeps it a square and doesn't squish it or make it look goofy and distorted. But all I have to click is done, and now I have the picture sized the way I like it. Now this text in here, we need to replace. I'll tell you, I use I think it's this site a lot, wishesmessages.com. There's all kinds of different just simple greetings and things that you can pull from here and just copy and paste them into there. I don't spend too much time in here. People aren't going to spend too much time reading these, so you shouldn't, unless you
Stephen?
like.
Oh, sorry, Stephen. Would you be able to share that link with us for this message? You said wishes. Sorry.
Yeah. Here, let me just toss it in the chat. Here we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Usually I'll just go in there and find something appropriate. I don't know if I found anything in here today. Let's see if there's anything for daylight savings time. Nothing that's pulling up. And so if that happens, like I said, I don't spend too much time thinking about this. I'm just going to write something. I'm going to write something short. So I'm going to delete out this longer box of text. And it gives me this little space in the template between the photo and the text. So I'm just going to delete that. And now I'm going to edit this text and put in what I want it to say. So let's see here. Return. Don't forget, it's time to fall back an hour this Sunday. Make sure to get to bed early. We are losing an hour of sleep. That's it. Something simple. Click on done. We don't need a link in this, so we're going to delete that. We don't need to have them contact us for more details or to schedule a tour. So I'm just going to delete that. You can put in a little message in there if you'd like. But like I said, I keep these pretty simple. And I usually take out the Market Center logo up there. Still looks a little cleaner when it comes through like this. Let's check our preview, see what it does look like. And there we go. Let's click on it on a phone. And there's what it should show up like on a phone. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want to see on the phone. Just a quick little touch on the holiday that I'm going to add to a smart plan. And so I'm all done with, oh, I have one more step. Don't forget this step like I did. Change the name at the top so that you know what it is. If you leave it as Modern Newsletter A or copy of Modern Newsletter A, you're not going to know what it is. So let's name this Daylight Savings Time Email 2021. And that's it. I'm going to hit save and exit, and it'll bring me back all the way to my design screen. Now I'm just going to go through that one again because there's so many steps, but you'll see that it goes pretty quick once you've done it before. And one of the great things I love about Command is that I can duplicate things really easily. So instead of having to redo that email and adding the picture in, instead of doing all that, I'm going to click on the three dots here, and I'm going to click make a copy of the same email I just made. Because now instead of having to go through and add those pictures in, change all of that, I can just go in and make the small changes right to this one. So let's do that. And if I want to edit this, I just click right on that template. And this time we're going to do it right. And we're going to change the title of this one right away. And we're going to make this one for V-Day email 2021. And let's jump back, grab one of our Veterans Day messages from over here. And I already have an image that I'm going to switch out here. And so the same process kind of applies. We're going to come in and we want to edit the image. And so we click on the pencil, we click on the image, and then we click on the pencil. And then over on the editing image menu, we're going to click on replace. We come back to a familiar screen where we can click on add image. And then I can drag in the file, or I can browse my computer. So I have this one already done as well. I'm going to drag that in. There's our Happy Veterans Day. I have my logo in this one, and replace. You'll notice that if I click off of this now, my photo hasn't been put into my preview over on the left side. We have to click done before it's going to add it in, even though it's uploaded over on the right side in the edit menu. But as soon as we click done, it jumps over into the preview, and now it's saved to where we want it to be. I have my little spot for my message. Let's come over here to our Veterans Day messages. Let's see. Let's jump to those. Veterans Day thank you messages. Oh, that's not what I want. Sure. Usually I have about a 10-second attention span for choosing these words. So I'm just going to throw in something here. Oops, I had a typo in the last one. And click done. Again, these are meant to be quick. We're going to just be automating these emails so you can just make them easily. You can do this at the beginning of the year. To be honest, you don't have to wait till the month of that time to edit or to make these. So let's just edit our title. I don't want that to be don't forget. Let's put in all right, and done. And I always like to check my preview just to make sure it looks okay in this view. All right, check my mobile view, make sure my text is good. All right, looks beautiful. And we hit save and exit. Now, the last holiday that you probably want to make something for is Thanksgiving. So let's make a quick Thanksgiving one as well. I'm going to make a copy. I'm going to click on it to edit, change the name. And come in here and we'll come and start editing our template. So instead of Happy Veterans Day, we're going to say Happy Turkey Day. We're going to edit our picture, click on the photo, click on the pencil, come over and click on replace. We're going to click on add images and then drag in our Thanksgiving image. Click on the image in the bottom corner and replace. We're going to click done. And then now we just need to take our text and put in a Thanksgiving message. Let's see. Woof, there's too much stuff in here sometimes. That'll work. We're going to click on edit and come in here, and I'm just going to paste in that text. Click on done. Now, if you'd like to make these emails more interesting, write an article, you are welcome to. Just in the interest of time and your own time, don't spend too much on these holiday emails. People are usually spending time on their holidays. It's a quick, nice touch for them. but we're going to hit save and exit. All right. We have our emails made. Thanksgiving, Veterans Day. I shouldn't call it V-Day. Let's change that. That could get confused with Valentine's Day. Okay. And our daylight savings time email. Now, first, I want to see if anybody has any questions about what I went over yet. I know that's a little quick. It's a lot of info. But are there any questions about the emails or anything about the system around these emails that you guys have right now?
Not yet.
Okie dokie. Thanks, Kendra. I appreciate it. So let's build a smart plan now. And first, we're going to build a really simple smart plan. This is the one-off. If you're new to Command, this is a great way to go. I recommend making really easy ones that are just going to send an email or send a text message, something simple to get you started with them. And then if we have time, we'll build out one that actually will send all three of these 1 month apart, or figuring out the day to send them, not a month apart, but figuring out the delays in between. Just takes a little bit more finesse in those plans. But we're going to make some simple ones first. So we need to go into SmartPlans, which let's take a look. Click on the red KW. SmartPlans is the fourth one down. We click on SmartPlans. And we want to create this one from scratch. And to do that, we're just going to come over and hit this create button to get us started on a blank smart plan. And since we're just going to send a quick one-off for Sunday, we're going to call this one Daylight Savings Time Email Sender 2021 and apply. And we'll see that jump right into the editing menu. Title at the top, but there's no steps on here. And so we need to create a step. And since we built an email, we're going to click on send an email. And the subject here is going to be, let's see, back on this Sunday. And that's our subject that will show up when we send our email. And we can send a basic email. This is just a text email. We can kind of mess around with the formatting. We can link things, but it's really simple down here. But it is an option to use, and they're useful at times. But since we already made our email, we need to click on Designs here in our email type. So we click on Designs, and now we need to select our email that we already just built. So we select Design. This screen looks pretty familiar, but the trick here is there's two different tabs at the top. We're looking at the Keller Williams template, which you can start right from scratch and build it from here and build the email out. But we don't want to do that. We already built our email, so we can click on My Designs. And there's my 3 designs that we just went over. And I'm going to click on Daylight Savings Time Email 2021. Says, it gives me a warning that if I edit this plan, it will affect this smart plan. And so just know that if you make any edits to that email, it will edit the next email that sends out on this smart plan. It's tied to the email design, not the smart plan. So if you make any changes to the email design, just know it will be sent out as that new updated design, which is kind of nice. All right, so we can get the chance to edit it if we would like to edit it. We don't need to, so I'm just going to hit save and exit. And you'll see that our email now says DST email 2021 for the one that we want to use. And that's it. That's all we got to do. That's the smart plan. We're going to hit save. It's happy with our smart plan. We didn't break any of the rules down here. You normally won't with just a one-off smart plan. But now I want to show you guys how to use this smart plan. So let's go over to my contacts. Because there's one last trick. After we build the smart plan, we need to add people to the smart plan so that it'll send out this email to them on daylight savings time. I'm actually going to send it the day before since mine is a don't forget email. But you could send them on any date that you like, the day of the holiday, the day before, and it's really simple to make that choice. So let me show you how you would do that. So you'd come into your contacts, just like you see in here. You might pull up a specific tag. Let's pull up the Keller Williams downtown roster. And I want to send it to everybody. So I'm going to drop down to 500 of our agents over at Keller Williams downtown. I'm going to select them all. And then now I have this select bulk action menu. And I'm going to come down and I'm going to scroll until I get to add to smart plan. Now we need to choose the smart plan we're going to add them to. That's our first one that shows up here. We hit select. And this is the trick. We want to select the second option on this screen because then that enables us to choose which day it starts. And on any smart plan, the day it starts is the day it does the first task in that smart plan. First task or activity is a better word. The first activity in the smart plan, which we know in the smart plan we just built, the first activity just sends that email. So if we launch this email to go out on the 6th, or excuse me, when we launch this smart plan to start on the 6th, it will send that email as the first action, and then it will end. And it only sends this one email on the 6th for me. If you want to send it on the 7th, change the date to the 7th. Send it on the day of the holiday. All I have to do is that I'm going to click on the 6th because I'm actually going to send it out to you guys. And you can now see that the email steps, it just sends this out on this one day. And it's going to send everybody that email. If there is a text message involved in your smart plan for something like this, it will always give you this warning, whether you do or don't. If you have Twilio connected or you do or don't on that level, doesn't matter. You're always going to see this warning, so don't worry about it. If you have Twilio, it will send those messages for you on the dates. You can build out holiday messages in the same way. The downside is we can't send a picture message like this. You can only send text in a text message, but the same idea would apply as we did today for the smart plan. But instead of choosing send email, you click send text and then write your text, and you would follow the same steps on assigning it on the day of the holiday to that person so that they get sent out on that day. So I'm going to hit confirm to finalize me sending these through. And now let's double check my good friend Abraham in here and see if he, oh, we went too quick. If he got added to my smart plan yet. And he did. We can see the timeline doesn't reflect sending him an email because we haven't told the system to email him yet because this plan only starts on the 6th. So if we look at the smart plan, we can check date added. We can see it was today, but the date executed is still blank because it hasn't been executed. Has not started yet. And once it does execute, this will go away because it only has one step of the smart plan. But that's it. That's how you do a simple one holiday smart plan. We build the email, we add it to the smart plan as the only step. And then the key is that we have to add those people to the smart plan on a certain date. The second option when you're adding people to the smart plan there, and that date we choose is the holiday. Are there any questions about building that simple holiday style smart plan or the specific one that we built? What kind of questions do you all have?
I think I finally got it after like the 10th time taking this class.
Right on. It's hard. It took me a long time to wrap my head around all this, but they all work.
Man.
I love it. Any other ahas? Those are also good. I love to hear ahas. All right. Well, we have enough time. I'm going to show you guys how to build this email so that you could build it for the month of November. There is a little, these are hard. I will just tell you right up front. It's hard to build things in the timeline to send out on the correct day when you want it to. based on the day of like a month or something like that. And the reason it's hard is because it depends, your delays will depend on what day you start them on the plan. And really just right now is that first delay is it, but we're gonna build it. If it's confusing, stick to the first way that we just talked about. If this works for you, great. It just, there'll only be a very small change you'll have to make. You'll just add them to the smart plan on the daylight savings time date like you saw us, but then it's gonna fire off the rest of the other emails to those people without you having to go in and do this for each holiday individually. But we start in the same place. We're gonna create a smart plan. And we're gonna call this one November Holiday Email Sender. And apply. And then we see ourselves put into the same spot. But this time, instead of one email, we are going to put in 3. So we have to write the subject line for each one. And this one was, oh, I had such a good title or subject for that one. Let's see, but I don't remember what I wrote. Don't forget that time. We click on our design, select the design. I go over to my designs to grab my daylight savings time email. And this one we can just hit save and exit. And our first email is in. Now I'm going to repeat those steps, but first I have to set a delay. And I'm going to have to look at a calendar for this to count the days. So if on day 1, we want to send the first email on day 1, and you can see that that's happening day 1, and that's going to be the 7th. Veterans Day is the 11th. So that's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. We want to send the Veterans Day email on day 5. So we want to bump this up to a 5-day delay and click on send email. We can now see, oops, I was wrong. We want a 4-day delay, but now on day 5, we're sending the next email, which will be Veterans Day. And so here we're going to put just thank you to our veterans. Bingo. And then we follow the same steps. Designs, select designs, switch over to my templates, select the email that I want. Got it. Save and exit. All right. So if Veterans Day is day 5, we need another delay to put in for to get us to Thanksgiving. And so now that's the 11th. And so day 5, day 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we want on day 19 to send over the Thanksgiving email. And as you heard me counting, I was just looking at a calendar, counting the days that if Veterans Day is day 5, I counted the day so I can have command tell me what day over here in the corner of the action that I want it to happen. And I said day 19, right? Ooh, I forgot. So if I said day 19, I'm going to, let's see, so that's day 5. And send email. Oops, off by 1. So on day 19, I want that Thanksgiving email to send, and this one's going to be Happy Turkey Day. And then I repeat the same steps. Won't bug you guys with saying them all again. All right. And that's it. Now we would follow the same steps to add people to this plan. The only hard part is just figuring out those delays of when the emails should send. But we'll add this email to the same or in the same way that we did the last time, just making sure that we choose the second option of when they start and selecting the date so that the first email sends on daylight savings time. So this one is designed now to just send out on daylight savings time. If I wanted to do it the day before, like I wrote this email specifically, I'd increase this one so that the first day is actually the 6th of the month. And then this still falls then on the 11th and the 28th of the month appropriately. But you can see if you make those little kind of tweaks like that, sending the day before or after, you have to change the delays, and it gets a little harder to manage occasionally. But once you get it down, it's pretty easy to handle. I'll tell you, I wrote them down.
I have another question.
Yeah.
So when you're setting up that first step, like when you're dictating what day the first day lands on, is that the first day from the day that you're creating this plan, or?
It's the first day represents the day that they launch on the Smart Plan.
And where are you specifying which day that falls on?
Let me show you. So I showed you guys from the contact screen before.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you from this screen now. So let me just hit save. All right. And so we have an add contact button from here. I only use this option if I'm doing like one person at a time, where I can search the name real quick and jump over to them. So on here, once we select the people, we can select as many as we need, as low as one. I'm going to select myself. And then this is the step where we tell it where to launch the Smart Plan. I can start it now, which would send step one. Day one would be today. What we want to do on this plan, since day one, we want that holiday email for daylight savings time to send on the 6th. So we would start the plan on the 6th, making the 6th day one, and then day 5, and so on. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Am I explaining that right, Lindy?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
No problem. This is why it gets hard and confusing. It's like, oh, so the first way, just making one per holiday, one Smart Plan per holiday, that's a great way to go. If this is too much, but if you're like, oh, I can figure it out, I'll write down the days, and day one, it's easiest if you make these on at the beginning of the month. Start with the first holiday and just make them. There's a good chance. I don't even know if they'll work the next year. We'll have to see, but I haven't tried that out. I'm not going to send this off to myself. Actually, why not? Let's start it. Let's do it. And I want that to launch on the 6th. Confirm. And there we go. We have one person on there. We can see the 458 on the other one. You can always come in here if you want to take somebody off of a plan. Say, oops, I did not want to send it to 2 Abrahams. I can remove Abraham by selecting him here. Confirm, unsubscribe. I can also unsubscribe everybody. If you're like, oh no, I did the wrong thing. I launched it on the wrong day, or my delay's messed up and it hasn't sent yet. You can just come in here and unsubscribe all and stop it from being sent, and then reassign to the correct plan or make the change that you need. The one thing you need to know is if you go in and edit a Smart Plan after you've assigned it to people, you're not going to be able to change the delays. The delays can't change. You can change the messaging. So if you have a typo in your text, you can go in and change the text and it'll still fire off just fine. Same with emails, but the delays are locked in when they're assigned to people. You can't change that. And so if you do need to change the delay, that's when you must unsubscribe everybody and restart them on the plan. Unsubscribe Abraham, confirm. Easy, easy. All right. What questions do you all have? All right. Another easy one. You guys are making it too easy for me over here. No questions, no nothing like that. Any general questions about Command? Well, we do have time.
I'm just trying not to overthink it, Stephen. I think I got what you're saying about the dates, the first date starting on the first date of your event, and then use your calendar and count to the next date. And then somewhere on the screen, like the line underneath it showed what day it was. Like, I'm not going to overthink it. I think I got it.
Love it. I love it. That's so important. Don't overthink it. I got to tell that to agents all the time.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Overthinking is the story of my life. But for the quarterly smart plan, is there an easy way to have that correlate with the D2, DTD2, the letters? You know
So
that,
correlate in what way, Jen?
well, you know how every week we call like different letters?
Mhm.
Is there a way to make the quarterly smart plan and the letters together?
I think I know what you're saying now, Jen.
Cool.
Yes. So um, there's a couple different ways to accomplish that, Jen. I think the easiest way is to, so I don't have my database tagged anymore with the DTD2 system, but what most people run in command for that is they'll have a tag for each of those. So they'll have an A and W tag, they'll have a P and L tag, and everybody's tagged appropriately for those different sections. They would come in and grab like a tag like that. For instance, like my SP tag, they click on it, and then they can make all of their A and W calls, right? And what I would do is if I know that A and W is coming up next week or in a month or something like that, I would come in here and grab all my A and Ws, for instance, add bulk action, add the smart plan, and then I would put them on the smart plan. So let's see, I'm selecting 50 people. Let's look for the quarterly call.
Can you share your screen?
Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Should have said something sooner, Jen.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm joking. All right. So yeah, let me back up a step. So I'm just in here. I can easily pull a tag just by clicking on the tag. So if we had, let's pretend S&P or SP is A and W, for instance, for the do the database 2 style. And so if we click on that tag and then say, I want to put all these people, I'm going to call them next week, right? I'm going to call them next week and I want command to tell me to call them next week or in a month, whatever the timing is. Then I would come in, select bulk action when I have them all selected, and add to smart plan. I'm going to look for my quarterly call plan. There it is. I'm going to hit select. Now this one, Jen, I would then select this one for next week and put them on for Monday. I know that all 50 of those people would drop in on Monday. That would be if I wanted to do 50 calls. If I only wanted to do 10 calls, I would do 10 or however many people are in there, right? And I'd put it on the day that I'm going to make my calls. And then every 90 days, it will remind me. So if I only want to do 10 calls a day, I'd put one on the 8th. I'd go select another 10 people and then repeat the steps and then put them on the 9th and the 10th and the 11th.
Got it. Thank you.
Absolutely. That is such an important step for people to understand how to use that quarterly call plan. Because once you set it up like this and do it once, you don't ever have to do it again for those clients. It runs indefinitely every 90 days, reminding you to call them. So you don't have to worry about redoing this in a year. You just have to worry about putting people on it every time you get a new person into the database, which the super duper level, Jen, of that is you make it so that all of those A and W P and L tags, that when you put them on new people, it automatically triggers the quarterly call plan to be put on them when you put that tag on them, so that you'll have that reminder every 90 days from them as well. There's lots of ways to do that. I can help with any of this stuff. So if you're sitting here and you're in the class and you're saying, gosh, I kind of got it, I'm not sure, this is a great opportunity for you to schedule time with me this week, next week, and we can build these emails together. We can build these smart plans together. If you want to do this with me, we can all do this together on those one-on-one. So go in and schedule that time with me so that we can get some stuff ready for December. January, February. The more you do up front, the easier it is to plan it, get it sent out. You can easily get 12 touches a year just from holiday plans. So I hope to see you guys all up on my schedules, in my email, seeing that you're scheduling all the time on my calendar. Checking the chat, checking the chat. All right. Wonderful. Are there any other questions before we log off and letting y'all out a little early today? But I appreciate y'all being here. Anything else to close?
You were awesome.
I appreciate it so much.
So much.
I will see you all very soon and have a great day.